Hello students, good morning. Welcome back to a new video of Sunanda's tutorial. So today we will discuss about the chapter 13 of 12th class Ncert biology book, that is Organism and Population. So let's start. Here in this video I have discussed only the valuable and important point of that chapter. So let's start. At first, what is ecology? Ecology is the branch of science which deals with the relationship between organism and their physical and biological environment. That means relationship between biotic environment with their non-biological or abiological environment or physical environment. Alexander Humboldt, known as the father of ecology, he was the first to study about the relationship between organism and their environment. Then Professor Ramdev Misra laid the foundation of ecology and environmental science in our country, India. He was also called as the father of Indian ecology by the ecologists of worlds ever. So in your chapter, at first details about Ramdev Misra is mentioned. Then the level of organization. So the level of organizations of whole biotic community are divided into following headings. First, living organism. It is single, maybe any type of living organism. Then total living organism of same species living and interacting in a particular area or group of living organism is known as population. Then different type of population interacting with each other is known as community. Then a large unit of flora and fauna with many community, many population, many ecosystem is known as biome. Biome is a large unit of flora and fauna. Then what is environment? Environment is the sum of all biotic and abiotic factors that surrounds and influence the organism in its survival and reproduction. See, what is biotic? Biotic means all the living organism present over there, and abiotic means all the non-living or physical factors of their surrounding. Then factors affecting environment. What are the factors that affect the environment? One is rotation of earth. Then seasonal and annual variation of temperature and precipitation, that means rainfall. Then habitat. Habitat where the organism live, that is their habitat. Then major biome. Major biomes of our world are Arctic and alpine tundra, then coniferous forest, then temperate forest, grassland, tropical forest, desert. So here it is mentioned that in this graph it is showing that how the precipitation pattern and temperature pattern affect the type of biome. So major abiotic factor or physical factor or environmental factor are temperature, water, light and soil. At first, the temperature. So how temperature affect the environmental pattern, or how this abiotic factor influence the biotic content of the environment. Ecologically, temperature is the most important factor. Next, decreases progressively from equator towards the pole and from the plain to mountain top. So the overall temperature, suppose this is the earth, it is the equator which passes in the middle, and these are two poles. So it decreases from equator towards the pole. And in plane the temperature is high, but when we go to the mountain top the temperature decreases. Polar region and high altitudes, sub-zero level, tropical desert have more than 50 degrees Celsius of temperature. Then organism survive only in suitable range of temperature. Based on tolerance to temperature, the organisms can be categorized into eurythermal, means organism that tolerate wide range of temperature, and stenothermal organism that tolerate only a narrow range of temperature. That means in extremely high and low temperature they cannot survive, but eurythermal can tolerate a wide range. That means they can tolerate a high temperature and also low temperature. Then water. Life on the earth originated in water. Productivity and distribution of plant depend on water. Based on the tolerance to salinity, organism can be divided into euryhaline and stenohaline. What is euryhaline? Organism that can tolerate wide range of salinity. Similarly, stenohaline means they can tolerate only a narrow range of salinity. Then freshwater organism cannot live in seawater, because seawater have saline water, salty water. So the organism inhabiting in fresh water, they cannot survive in seawater. And also the organism live in marine or seawater, they cannot survive in fresh water because of the osmotic problem. Then light. Sunlight is the source of energy. The primary producer of any ecosystem is the green plants, and they capture or obtain their energy from the sunlight. They capture the energy in the form of radiant energy and convert it into chemical energy by the process of photosynthesis. Small plants which are canopied by all tall plants adapted to photosynthesis in low light condition, because under the canopy of a large tree or large plant, this small tree grow under this large tree and under their canopy, so they cannot get enough sunlight, so they adapted that situation to grow in low light condition. Then flowering depend on sunlight. Foraging, reproductive and migratory activity of animals depend on seasonal variation in light intensity. Then UV component of the light is very harmful to the organism. Generally the ozone layer, which is present in your stratospheric layer of atmosphere, they capture the UV rays that are coming from the solar energy or solar radiation. But when this UV light accidentally enter into the earth's surface, it creates many problems. It is harmful for our skin, for our eye, and for also for the plants, and it can affect the photosynthesis or yielding rate efficiently. So these are the harmful effects of this UV light. Then soil. The nature of the soil depend on the climate pattern, weathering process. Weathering process is the process in which soil is formed from the rock, then sedimentary and transported, then soil development. So what are the characteristics of soil? What are the characters that define a soil or quality of soil? It is soil composition, its grain size or particle size, aggregation, that means determine percolation or leaching, and water holding capacity of the soil. Percolation means when the extra water or flowing water absorbed by the soil, that is the percolation, and water holding capacity of that soil. Then responses of this biotic community to many abiotic factor. One thing is homeostasis. Homeostasis means the ability of an organism to maintain the constancy of its internal environment despite of varying external temperature or environmental condition. So how does this homeostasis occur? Regulate. Organism maintain homeostasis by ensuring constant body temperature, which is known as thermoregulation, and constant osmotic concentration, which is known as osmoregulation. For example, mammals regulate temperature by shivering in cold to sweating in heat. Then conform. What is conform? Internal environment of conformers changes with external environment. So some organisms can regulate their body temperature and osmotic pressure, but some organisms where their internal environment of these conformers changes with external environment. External environment affect their internal environment. Why small animals are rarely found in polar region? Small animals have large surface area compared to the volume, so they lose heat easily in cold and have to expend energy to generate body heat. But if stressful environmental conditions are localized or remain for short duration, then alternatives are migrate or suspend. So generally small animals have large surface area compared to volume, so they lose heat easily in cold and have to expend energy to generate their body heat. So generally these small animals found in the polar region. Then what is migration? Stressful habitat lead to movement of any species from their habitat to another. Move from stressful habitat temporarily, but they move temporarily to a hospitable area and return when stressful period over. For example, migration of birds to Keolado National Park of Rajasthan from Siberia. Then what is suspend? Suspend means organism develop a mechanism to deal with a stressful situation. See, generally seeds undergo dormancy. That means they do not show any development or growth actively in that stressful or unfavorable unfavorable situation. But when the favorable situation again come, they show their activity. Similarly, many spores of bacteria and fungi, the bears undergo hibernation, snails undergo estivation, then diapers in case of zooplanktons. So these organisms develop a mechanism to deal with stressful or more correctly to deal with the unfavorable condition. But when the favorable condition again come, they show their activity normally, and that is the condition known as suspend. Then what is adaptation? Adaptation means the ability of an organism to enable the organism to survive and reproduce in its habitat. So they adapt that the condition or the environmental condition of that habitat and survive in that condition and reproduce there. So adaptation means they adapt to the conditions and grow. It is an ability of organism that enables the organism to survive and reproduce in its habitat. Then what is population? Population means a group of individuals in a defined area which share and compete for similar resource and potentially interbreed with each other. There are 4 population attributes. One is birth rate, average number of young ones born in a period of time with reference to member of population. Then death rate, average number of deaths in a period of time with reference to the member of population. Then sex ratio, number of female per male per 1000 individuals. Then what is age pyramid? Plot of age distribution or percentage of individuals of a given age or age group. It reflects whether the growth is expanding or it is stable, that means constant, or declining, that means decreasing. Then what is population density? It is the number of individuals present per unit area at a given time. What is population growth? population growth, generally the factors that are affecting the population density or number of individual are food availability, predation pressure and weather. These three factors affecting the population density. Then density changes by chance in four basic process. One is natality. Natality means the birth rate or increase population. That means natality leads to the increase in the population because it is the birth of a new individual, so it adds to the existing number of species. Then immigration. Immigration means entry of any foreign species to the existing community. Mortality means the decrease in the population because mortality means the death of an individual. Then emigration also leads to decrease in the population density. Emigration means exit of any species or any organism or any individual from the population, or they migrate out. Emigration means exit, immigration means entry. Then natality, which is the number of birth during a given period in population that are added to initial density. So it ultimately leads to the increase in population. Then mortality, number of death in the population during a given period. Emigration means number of individual of population who left the habitat and went elsewhere during the given period. Immigration, number of individual of same species that have come to the habitat from elsewhere during the time under consideration. Then if n is the population density at a given time t, then its density at time is t plus 1. So nt plus 1 equal to nt plus birth b plus I, that means birth rate, plus immigration minus death, that means d, plus emigration. So population density, that means number of population will increase if birth or plus immigration, that means entry of organism, is more than the death plus emigration. Obviously when birth and immigration rate will high, the overall population density will increase. Then growth models. There are two growth models. One is exponential growth model, one is logistic growth model. What is exponential growth? In this kind of growth occur when food and space is available in sufficient amount. When resources in habitat are unlimited, each species has the ability to realize fully its innate potential to grow in number. Population grow in exponential or geometric pattern. If population size is n, the birth rate represented by b and death rate d, then increase and decrease in n during unit period of time t will be dn by dt equal to b minus d into n. Let b minus d equal to r, a constant, then dn by dt equal to rn, where r in this equation is called intrinsic rate of natural increase. So in exponential growth, the organisms show the growth or unlimited growth because they have unlimited food and sufficient space to live. Then what is logistic growth? There is a competition between individual of a population for food and space. That means they have limited food and space. The fittest organism survives and reproduces. In this type of growth, initially they show lag phase. That means a high growth rate followed by phases of acceleration and deceleration. Here dn by dt equal to r, which is the intrinsic rate of natural increase, into n, that means population density at time t, into k minus n divided by k. K means carrying capacity. Since resource for growth of population are finite and become limiting, the logistic growth model is considered a more realistic one because generally the food and space is limited. It is not unlimited. And what is carrying capacity? What is the carrying capacity? Carrying capacity is the maximum number of individuals present in a population that the habitat can sustain or bear, that is its capacity, carrying capacity, that the maximum number of individual it can carry or sustain. So it is the logistic and the exponential growth models. Then population interaction. What is interaction? Interaction means it can be of two types. One is interspecific, one is intraspecific. Interspecific means the interaction between two species, and these are different types of interspecific interaction because it occur between two species. One is mutualism, where both species gets the benefits from each other. One of the famous example of mutualism is here the mycorrhiza, which are present in the root of higher plants. Then competition. In case of competition, they compete with each other for a limited food or space. So both are affected negatively. Then predation, when one consume or eat another, and one is the predator, another one is the prey. So only one individual get the benefit and other one get harmed. So here one is positively affected, one is negatively affected. Then parasitism. Parasitism means one parasite always derive the benefit and nutrition from their host. For example, the coscuta plant, they live or get their nutrition from a large plant. So in case of parasitism, one organism gets the benefit and other is always harmed. Then commensalism. Commensalism, where one organism get the benefit and other is neutral, they do not get harmed or cannot get the benefit from this type of interaction. Then amensalism, where one organism is always get harmed and other one is neutral, they do not harm or do not get any benefit from this type of interaction. So let us discuss each one of it in details. First of all, parasitism. It is the interaction where one species or parasite depend on the other species, that means host, for food and shelter. Always the host is harmed because this parasite always derive nutrition from their host. Type of parasite, one is ectoparasite, which depend on the external surface of the host. For example, head lice of human, ticks on dog. Then endoparasite takes the shelter within body of the host organism. Example, liver fluke and plasmodium. Then commensalism. It is the interaction where one species is benefited, the other is neither benefited nor harmed. This condition is commensalism. Then mutualism. It is the interaction where both the interacting species are benefited. For example, lichen, where algae and fungi both get benefited and live mutually. Mycorrhiza, I have told that, where fungi live in the roots of the higher plant. Pollination of plants by insects. Then Mediterranean orchids, sexual deceit for pollination, appear as female bee. Then amensalism. Amensalism, it is the interaction of two species in which one species is harmed and the other species is neither harmed nor benefited. For example, bacterial culture. After a few days, fungus growth will be there on like it penicillium, and its secretion of chemical will kill bacteria but no benefits to fungi. See, when the fungal growth, near the fungal growth, there is no bacterial growth because fungus secretes something that inhibit the growth of the bacteria. When we grow the fungi and bacteria together in a culture plate, generally near this fungal growth, no bacterial growth is seen. So here the secondary metabolites secrete from this fungi inhibit the growth of the bacteria, but it is not beneficial to the fungus itself. It kills the bacteria. Bacteria gets harmed or it is negatively affected, but at the same time fungus got no benefits from this type of interaction. So this is the case of amensalism, when one organism is harmed but the other organism is neither harmed nor get any benefit of this. this type of interaction. Next is the competition, when two animals compete for the same limited resources. Second one is predation, where one animal predates on the another animal. So it is all about your organism and population chapter, and here in this video I have briefly described all the important points present in that chapter. I hope you really enjoyed this session. In my next video I will discuss another chapter or just important lines of another chapter which will be helpful for your upcoming board exam, biology exam. So stay tuned, please like my channel, share with other friends and students, and subscribe to my channel Sunanda's tutorial. Thank you.